What is up, everyone? Abigora here, and today I'm going to be talking about the top 10 worst WrestleManias of all time. And this list is going to be out of all the WrestleManias ever in history. Literally every one from 1 to 37. And I'm not even kidding when I say that I watch every WrestleMania in history, from match to match, didn't even skip any matches. Also, this is a voice reveal, so let me know if you guys like it or not. Anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. At number 10, we have WrestleMania 29. If you guys seen this WrestleMania, you guys know exactly why it's on this list. And it's because of the twice in a lifetime Rock versus John Cena match. I don't even know why they had to fight at 2 WrestleManias in a row. Like, their match at WrestleMania 28 was actually pretty good. I really enjoyed that match. But this match wasn't it. This WrestleMania also had some pretty lackluster matches. Like, they had Mark Henry versus RYBACK. They had The Shield versus Big Show, Randy Orton, and Sheamus. And they also had Alberto Del Rio versus Jack Swagger. Like, no, what? But this WrestleMania will always be remembered as one of the most disappointing ones ever. At number 9, we have WrestleMania 35. Now, I know a lot of you modern day era fans will get mad at me for putting this WrestleMania on this list. But here that's not the case. This WrestleMania is on this list for a number of reasons. 1. WWE could have did better with the stage set. I mean, all they did for the intros was just a big old screen. Like, come on, WWE, are you serious right now? 2. The matches on this WrestleMania felt pretty boring, especially the kickoff show. The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal that year, which Braun Strowman won, felt different. It's like WWE wasn't even trying there. But the main reason why it's on this list is because this WrestleMania went on for way too long. I think the show went on for about 8 hours. I mean, who is going to sit down and watch a show for 8 hours straight? Like, no, nobody got time for that. And I believe it was like after midnight when the main event was shown between Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, and Charlotte Flair. But let's talk about the other matches though. Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship could have been good, but that match only lasted a minute, so we're not going to talk about that. Then there was Randy Orton versus AJ Styles, whose field was pretty boring in my opinion. And you put Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar at the beginning of the show. Why is that the beginning of the show? Just why? Why you put Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins at the beginning? If this WrestleMania was shorter and Vince did better with the match placement, then this WrestleMania wouldn't be on this list. At number 8, we have WrestleMania 34. This is by far one of the most boring WrestleManias I've ever seen in my opinion. I wanted to like it so bad because it was in my hometown, New Orleans, but I just couldn't. But let's talk about the matches on this list. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura was without question the most boring match in my opinion. It could have been a classic, but the way it ended was just terrible. Having Shinsuke turn a heel was just at the bottom. They also had the Bar versus Braun Strowman and the Nicholas Kid, which I wasn't a fan of. Then there was the triple threat match between Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, and The Miz for the Intercontinental title. I just couldn't. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns could have been great, but that match was about 5 minutes long, and the fans were angry about it. But this will be remembered as one of the most boring WrestleManias in my opinion. At number 7, we have WrestleMania 4, which I like to call Rematch Mania. First, it had the rematch between Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant, but that match ended in disqualification, so I'm not going to talk much about that match. Then there were some other matches, but I'm not going to talk about them. They tried so hard to make this WrestleMania fun, but this one was also a pretty boring one. It felt like they wasn't even trying, but it was just at rock bottom. But that's all I have to say about this WrestleMania because there wasn't really much added to it. At number 6, we have WrestleMania 16. This one also has some lackluster matches, and the way it turned out was just off the charts. There was a 15-man battle royal for the hardcore title. I feel like they just randomly added that match in. Then there was the triple threat tag team ladder match between Edge and Christian, the Dudley Boys, and the Hardy Boys for the tag team titles. I didn't really see a feud between these three, but I don't know. I'll say the worst match in my opinion is the catfight match. I don't even know what was going on in that match. I wasn't a big fan of this WrestleMania, and it didn't really turn out great. At number 5, we have WrestleMania 32. This is one of the most hated WrestleManias ever, and there is actually a good reason for that. It had over 100,000 people at AT&T Stadium, and they failed miserably to put on a good show. It had the Hell in a Cell match between The Undertaker and Shane McMahon. That match was way too long. It was like over 30 minutes. It had the New Day versus League of Nations. They tried to save this match when Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, and Mick Foley came out, but they couldn't. The most hated match was definitely Triple H versus Roman Reigns for the WWE World Heavyweight title at the time. And this is probably the worst WrestleMania main event ever. The way it ended was just terrible. But there really isn't anything else to say about this WrestleMania. At number 4, we have WrestleMania 11. This one was just average. Also, this WrestleMania was pretty short. It got pretty slowed down, and the way it was going was just average. And this one also has some botches. But let's talk about the matches. It had Shawn Michaels versus Diesel, which I think it wasn't that bad. But the one that disappointed me the most was the Lawrence Taylor versus Bam Bam Bigelow match. Like, what in the world were they thinking? The matches on here was just next level bad. This WrestleMania was just disappointing. At number 3, we have WrestleMania 2. I have seen a lot of complaints about this WrestleMania, but what disappointed me the most is that they had this WrestleMania in 3 different locations. I didn't think that was a very smart idea. The main event of this WrestleMania was Hulk Hogan versus King Kong Bundy in a steel cage match. Okay, first of all, who even is this? I have never heard of this dude before. King Kong Bundy? Like, no. Y'all might think I'm trolling, but I'm not. I'm being serious right now. I never even know who this person was until I started making this video. If you're an older fan that's watching this video right now, and you know who this person is, please let me know in the comments down below because I'm willing to know. And I swear, if any of y'all old heads get in the comments talking about some, oh, you young, you a kid, you don't know anything about this, I'm just gonna go ahead and delete your comment because I'm not about to deal with any of y'all right now. But anyways, let's continue. But this WrestleMania will always be remembered as one of the worst ever. At number 2, we have WrestleMania 27. Oh my god, where do I start with this one? The matches on here were just so bad. The worst match on this one was definitely Michael Cole versus Jerry Lawler. I don't even know why Michael Cole's wrestling at this time. And the worst part about this match was that Michael Cole won that match. Michael Cole, you should just stick to commentating, bro. Wrestling is clearly not for you. And Jerry Lawler, you are a WWE Hall of Famer. How in the world do you lose to a commentator? What was Vince even doing with you? There was also John Cena versus The Miz for the WWE title, and The Rock interfered in that match, so it could set up Rock versus John Cena at WrestleMania 28, even though The Rock was the host of that WrestleMania. I wasn't a fan of this one, and it just never been that good to me. At number 1, we have WrestleMania 9. I don't even think I have to explain much why this is the worst WrestleMania of all time. That ending was so bad. Having Hulk Hogan defeat Yokozuna in 22 seconds was just horrible. There was also Undertaker versus Giant Gonzalez, which in my opinion is the worst match of the Undertaker's WrestleMania streak before he got broken. But is it as bad as the ending of that WrestleMania? The fans hated that match. But that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Also, follow me on Instagram at ddj_1 for more content. I'll leave a link in the description for it. I'll see you guys in the next video.